I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? It is a great day, and I'm so excited to have this author's edition. You know, the authors, okay? There is just like something about authors. And I don't know, are you an author? Do you write books? Man, I'm telling you, it is amazing what you do. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. Man, I am so very excited to have my next guest on the show. You know, coming up with stories out of the blue and out of nothing and then it not match another story. How do we do that? I don't know. But Carson Boss is here and he's going to let us know how he did it with his book Glimpse. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Yaya. Glad to be here.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here. So tell us about yourself.
Oh, gee, a little bit about myself. I live here in just north of Salt Lake City, Utah. Have a wonderful wife, Tara. We have 7 kids between us. We're a blended family. 3 grandkids, lots of dogs. we brought all the dogs with us as well. But yeah, just have lived in a couple different parts of the North America. Spent a couple years in Canada. Spent a couple years down in Texas, working down there, and basically just write a little bit as a side hobby, and have been in the banking industry for most of my career. Do compliance, so make sure the bank is following all the rules and regulations that Washington passes down. So a lot of people go, "You're a compliance officer?" Because I like joking around. I like having fun. They're like, "You're not an auditor." But maybe that's why I write, because I have to have that creativity channel going.
Yeah.
So that's probably it. But yeah, and then I like doing musical theater. I've done a number of musicals on stage, done a little acting. So yeah, it's just I try to be a little bit of a Renaissance guy, I guess you could say.
Well, that's why you kept how would I say, and how would I say, you didn't lose your personality.
Yeah. I try to make sure I'm myself, even when I go in and I'm working with a bank to like help get their stuff on track. I try to at least say, look, you can still do it and have fun doing it. You don't have
Right.
to be so, stingy or stoic or boring.
Banking can be boring.
Oh, gee. Yeah. Tell me about it. Especially with, I think they're on double letters in the alphabet with the different regulations. So yeah, there's so many regulations that banks have to follow. And, I think
Oh,
you saw it with a couple of the banks closing down recently.
yes, I was
Silicon
gonna
Valley
say that.
Bank. And
I was gonna say that. What is your opinion as an auditor on what's going on with the banking industry? Not to get off the track, but I'm sure people are thinking about it. You said you were in it, so go right ahead.
yeah, it's just interesting. Banks can sometimes get their exposure in the wrong areas.
Hmm.
Maybe too much deposits, too much lending, not enough capital to cover those downswings like in '08.
Hmm.
So I think banks are still learning how the economy is changing and how it's affected. And I think with, interest rates going up and just the cost of living going up, some banks just aren't prepared to absorb that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just making sure that you're following the regulations, that you have plenty of capital. So I've always tried to align myself with banks that have plenty of capital and reserves just in case there is a downturn in the economy. So
Ugh,
it can
tell
be
me about
done,
it.
but
Yeah, I'm sure it can be. And there are not every bank went out into 2008. There were some banks that stayed. You know what I mean?
oh
They all
yeah,
they don't all go out, but I mean it's just some of them have their ups and downs. But with the inflation going up and the
I know.
price of living going up, where's my paycheck going up anytime soon?
See? And
Hello,
that's it. It's not your paychecks and your pay is not keeping up with
no,
inflation. And
it's not. And
so a
so
lot of people have
food,
had to turn to doing a lot of different things.
like
It's not
going to
like
the
that's
food
why I write
banks,
books, but
right?
I'm always looking for avenues to just go out and do different things.
Yeah, and there are a lot of my friends that are going to the food bank like once a month to substitute what they can't get anymore. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
It's a
I mean,
vicious cycle. Yeah.
it's a vicious cycle. And so, like you said, you're writing the books, you're doing things on the side, and that's what people have to do nowadays. And you find yourself working, and then when you get home, you have no free time for your children. It's just gonna have to stop somewhere. It's gonna
Mhm.
have to kind of give somewhere. And so
Yeah.
hopefully it will really soon. So, but I want to get into your book, Glimpse. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the title.
Okay. Um, it basically came from, have you ever like been looking at something and you swear you see something out of the corner of your eye and then you go to look and it's gone?
Yeah, especially after I've seen a horror movie.
Yeah, right. Right. So
Yeah.
that term glimpse just stuck with me with my characters. Once I started thinking about the book back in 2009 is when I really started to formulate the characters and the plot. And I'd always done a little bit of writing. I was in broadcasting. So that was my major in college. And so I'd always done print writing and things like that. But I'd never really thought of writing a book per se.
Hmm.
But then I got the idea in '09, and that word glimpse just was like, okay, what if something was there and we just couldn't see it, or we couldn't lock onto it, and what is it? What are we seeing out of the corner of our eyes that may be real, right? And then I've always loved ghost stories. I've always loved, the paranormal, the supernatural aspect of movies and stories and books that I've read. And I was heavily influenced by Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown's book. I
Hmm.
liked how he wove historical stuff in with the fictional characters in the story. So I really like his style of short chapters and keeping it moving. So when I started writing the book, I was like, I think I'll take some of those attributes, incorporate some US history because I love history. And then that's why I put my characters back in Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, that area, just with the history and stuff there. So that's really the genesis of the name and then how I started formulating the idea for the book.
You're talking to a wuss, okay? A wimp, a wuss. I don't know. I do not watch horror stories. I don't want to see a glimpse out of the corner of my eye, although I do see it. You know what they were saying? Not too long ago, they said that is your parallel universe. Oh, that freaked me out.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
freaked
I,
me
I
out.
do get into dimensions a little bit into this, how we're in the third dimension. The next dimension's time, so there is sort of this element of dimension as well as then, what happens to us after we die, good versus evil. That's sort of my story here. I've been a youth and an adult instructor in my church.
Hmm.
And so I've been able to talk, the scriptures with a lot of people from ages, 7 all the way up to 80. And
Hmm.
it seemed like when we get to the stories of good versus evil in the scriptures, or what happens to us after we die, like when Christ died on the cross, where did he go for those days?
Hmm.
Lazarus, where did he go? And then he was brought back.
Right.
Where do you go after this life? And that's really what my characters are trying to figure out, especially my main character, Mark Banks. He's had these spiritual experiences in his life and he's trying to understand why he had them. And then he gets pulled into this basically other world battle for our souls, right? Because our souls continue to live on. So it has a little bit of a paranormal twist, but it definitely speaks with your spiritual nature, staying in tune with that spirit. That's really what I want people to get.
You want me to see like other parallel universes as I walk through my own house, don't you? That's what you want me to do.
Well, if you do, then you're getting a glimpse of it, right?
I don't
So
want a glimpse. I don't even want to know it's there. I'm really good at with this.
you,
I don't
you like where
red
you're at, and
pill.
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
red pill, blue pill. Give me the one that keeps me where I'm at. Okay, just don't show me nothing
Oh
else.
yeah.
I'm the freaker. I'm the one that will freak out like
I
that's
love the
me.
Matrix too, and I'm like, would I have really taken, the red pill or the blue pill?
No,
Would
I
I
would have
just
stayed
stayed in
there.
the dream or
I
what?
would have stayed in the dream. Would have been like, look, just let me live and let
Yeah,
me.
just I don't even want to know what's there. Yeah.
Don't be having me. Oh, I don't even want to go through tubes of stuff and have things, and I
Oh,
don't want to see
yeah.
that. I don't. Just leave me in the matrix. Okay. if it's gonna make me scary. Now, Glimpse, is it a scary book or is it like sci-fi or is it just like you said,
Well,
you got history, but I mean,
it's got, because like I say, it's a story of good versus evil. So there is
mhm,
an antagonist that shows up that Mark has to deal with to basically close this door that they're trying to open to get to us.
mhm.
The evil element. So yeah, I mean, there are a couple of, chapters that deal with dealing with that antagonist, but it does, show Mark Banks and how he keeps the faith in moving through that. He has some great trusted advisors, the professor of his spiritual and psychic phenomenon class that he's taken at the University of Maryland. And then he also has a pastor that he relies on, as well as his mother, that sort of help him understand what he's dealing with and then how he can overcome it. And they do spend a lot of time in a cemetery. So there is, that type of element, but I've tried to keep it light. It's not as scary as the cover. Like a lot of people, I'll
Yeah, I
hold it up
know.
here.
It
A lot
reminds me
of
of
people look
Chucky.
at the doll head in the
I
cemetery.
looked at it, I was like, oh no, it's a female Chucky.
Yeah, no. It's not as scary. That actual picture was my sister's doll head that my dog had ripped off.
Oh my gosh.
And my dad had just put it on a stump and took a picture. And when I was digitizing their slides from the 60s and 70s, that picture came up. And it was right about the time that I was thinking of the idea for the book. And if you look at the doll head, if you look in the eyes, it sort of looks like there's a flame.
Hmm.
And that's sort of our soul. Our bodies get abused and they break down and they, decay as we get older, but our soul will go on and live. And
Hmm.
that's sort of the fire inside that I wanted to portray in the book,
I got
that
you.
we do go on and do different things after we die. It's not a
Yeah,
dirt nap and that's it. So
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. So us wusses can read it.
yeah.
That's what you're
Oh yeah.
telling me.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I've had people that don't read it and they really liked it. And then, like you say, I've had people that won't even watch, Charlie Brown Halloween because it's too scary. And they've read it and they got interested in the mystery of the story. So
Hmm.
it's a mystery and he's having to unravel some things versus just straight. I didn't go for a shock or a horror value.
Right. I got you. I got you. Who in the book is based off of you and your character? Because I have to find that out.
Yeah, great question. Actually, there's a little bit of me in each character.
Okay.
So Mark Banks is my curiosity side. He questions things. He's always trying to understand what's going on. His best friend Jeremy is my personality, the humor in me,
Hmm.
right? The professor is my love of books and just learning all different kinds of things. I love reading religious books from all around the world to try to find commonality,
Hmm.
because I've met people, in my vacationing and other places, and it's just fun to find what we do all believe in, no
Hmm.
matter what religion you're from or what background you have. There's commonality. And then and just understanding all of that and how it's a circle and how we're all here for the same purpose, and that's to get through this life as happy as we can and help each other out, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow. Wow. Well, I thank you so very much, Carson, for being on the show and for sharing your book. Glimpse. Yeah. I don't want to have any more glimpses. So if I do, it's on you. I'm just gonna
okay. Well, we'll read it and then let me know if you have any increase in glimpses, and then I'll talk you through them. So
I don't know. I don't know, Carson. I'm the essential wimp. Okay.
well, we'll
In real
have
life,
someone you trust read it and then relay the story to you, and they can
yeah.
they can
Then
talk
not, in
about
real life, I'm not a wimp, but like when it comes to horror stories and stuff, I mean, and I have to go there. And I'm black, and usually the black person is the first one to get killed. And I'm just like not having it. I just don't want to be around, It's like I don't
Hey,
want to be
no
there.
one dies in my book, so just so you know.
Good. Okay.
They meet people that have, but no one
Oh
dies in
goodness, no. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, you freaked me out right there. I'm done.
Well, thanks,
But
Yaya,
I
for this time. It's been
no
awesome.
problem. Thank you for this time. And you know what's so funny? Like I can't read the book, but I can watch the movie.
Yeah. So hopefully I have a group that's turning it into a screenplay. So I think it would be easily adaptable to a series, like a short series or a movie. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. I've got
I
some
hope
ideas
so.
for some additional, like a trilogy. So I'll see how this one does. And then I've got more things that Mark can explore and understand. So,
Yeah. Now, see, I'll watch the movie now. You got me on that.
okay,
I'll
good.
watch the movie. So if the movie comes out, I will watch the movie. And then
Awesome.
I'll read the book because I'm a wuss. I want to know what it's about before I even.
Yeah, you're like me. I'd rather watch the movie first and then
Yeah.
read the book to fill it in,
Yeah.
because everyone that I've talked to, I read the book and then saw the movie. I didn't like the movie. Well, then don't ruin the movie. Watch the movie first,
Exactly.
then read
Watch
the
the
book.
movie. Exactly. Thank you. Well, Carson, thank you so much. Where can people find the book, Glimpse?
Yeah, just any of your online book retailers, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, um, like Libris, those places there. So yeah, check it out. Leave a comment if you want. That helps move it up, get it out there, and enjoy the read.
Definitely. And hopefully the movie. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Carson, I want to thank you so much for joining me. It's just been such a pleasure.
Thanks, Yaya. It's been
No
great.
problem. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to have that information about the link in the description box below. So it'll be easy for you guys to go ahead and click on that and get that for yourselves if you like that, glimpse. Yeah. Just pray for the movie. Okay. Pray for the movie. I want to thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, bye. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified the next time that I upload. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. I dare to be